Imagine this. You're a founding father. Not a famous one, not Washington, not Jefferson. But without you, neither of them turn out the way they did. You're George Wythe, first law professor in American history. You taught Thomas Jefferson everything he knows. You taught the future Chief Justice of the United States everything he knows. Half the men who built this country learned justice sitting in your classroom. Monday morning, coffee, same as always. Your grandnephew pours it for you. You drink the coffee. Bitter aftertaste. You figure it's just the beans. An hour later, your stomach's on fire. Oh, hey there. Before we get into how a founding father gets taken out over inheritance money, 2 quick facts about George Wythe, because he deserves to be more than just guy who got poisoned. Fact 1. He freed the people he enslaved in Virginia in the 1780s, which, for context, was not the move. Most of his peers were writing all men are created equal with one hand and signing slave deeds with the other. Wythe actually did something about it, and he left money in his will to make sure they were taken care of after he was gone. Spoiler, that will is about to become a problem. Fact 2. He basically invented how law school works. He taught using discussion, argument, back and forth, instead of just lecturing at people. Centuries later, Harvard would call this the case method and act like they came up with it. They didn't. Wythe was doing that in Williamsburg while your ancestors were still arguing about tea taxes. Anyway, poison. Let's talk about it. Colorless-ish, tastes faintly bitter, symptoms that look exactly like food poisoning. And in 1806, absolutely no way for a doctor to prove it was murder instead of bad luck. Arsenic, nature's favorite inheritance accelerant. So, what does arsenic actually do to a body? Let's talk about it. Your cells run on tiny power plants called mitochondria. That's how every part of you gets energy. Your heart, your brain, your gut lining, all of it. Arsenic's whole move is walking into that power plant and pulling the plug. Specifically, it jams itself into an enzyme your cells need to produce energy. And once it's in there, the whole system grinds to a halt. No energy, no function. Cells start dying, starting with the ones that need the most energy to keep working, which happens to be the lining of your digestive tract. That's why the first thing arsenic wrecks is your gut. The cells lining your stomach and intestines are replaced constantly, which means they're burning energy non-stop, which means they're the first ones arsenic takes out. That's why arsenic poisoning looks exactly like a stomach bug. Cramping, vomiting, diarrhea. A doctor in 1806 has no reason to suspect murder. He just writes down cholera and moves on, because cholera was actually going around Williamsburg at the time. Perfect cover. Wythe's grandnephew couldn't have picked a better week. And here's the part that makes arsenic the historical murder weapon of choice. It doesn't kill you in one dose. It builds. A little bit today, a little more tomorrow, and your body just keeps absorbing it faster than it can clear it out. There's no dramatic collapse, no obvious crime scene, just a sick old man who keeps getting sicker, 1 cup of coffee at a time. You drank that coffee for days. So what does arsenic poison look like if you drink poisoned coffee every day? Day 1. Hours after that first cup of coffee, your stomach's on fire, cramping so bad you can barely stand up straight. Then the vomiting starts. Then the diarrhea. You figure it's something you ate. Everyone around you figures the same thing. There's cholera going around Williamsburg, and you look exactly like every other cholera patient in town. Nobody's thinking poison. Why would they? You just had coffee with your own grandnephew Sweeney. Day 2. You're weaker, dehydrated. Your pulse is climbing, trying to compensate for fluid you can't keep in your body. But here's the thing. You're still lucid. Lucid enough to notice something's wrong with the pattern. You keep getting sicker every time you eat or drink something Sweeney's handed you. You keep getting a little better when you don't. Old man, dying, and still putting the pieces together faster than anyone in the room. Day 3. You call for your will. You cut Sweeney out of it, right there from your sickbed, and you tell anyone who'll listen exactly who you think did this, including your housekeeper, Lydia Broadnax, who was in the room and saw Sweeney handling your food. Remember her, she matters later. Days 4 through 7, your body's losing the fight on multiple fronts. Your kidneys are struggling to clear a poison they were never built to process. Your heart rhythm's getting unstable. Your arms and legs are weakening. Arsenic doesn't just hit your gut, it goes after your nerves too, so you're losing feeling and control in your extremities on top of everything else. The doctors of 1806 don't have arsenic figured out. Their best treatments are things like bloodletting and purging, which, if you're already dehydrated from vomiting and diarrhea, is somehow making it worse. You are being treated to death almost as efficiently as you're being poisoned to death. Days 8 through 14, you're in and out of consciousness, organs shutting down one at a time, quietly, the same way they'd shut down for anyone dying of multi-system failure. No more lucid moments cutting people out of wills, just the slow part now. 14 days after that first cup of coffee, you die. So what did this actually feel like? Not a clean fade to black. This is slow, and for a lot of it, you're awake for every part of it. At first, it's just pain, cramping so bad you can't think about anything else. But you're sharp enough to suspect your own family and act on it fast. Then your grip starts slipping along with your body. Clear moments get shorter, further apart. Thinking feels like wading through mud. And the part that's worse than the physical decline, for those first clear days, you know exactly who did this. You've said his name out loud. You've changed your will. And you're stuck watching him still walk around your house while you get weaker, hoping someone believes you after you're gone. By the end, awareness comes in pieces, then stops coming back at all. You are probably wondering what happened to the murderous grandnephew? Life in jail? Death penalty? Nope. Thanks to the laws that you helped put into place, he remained a free man. Lydia Broadnax was in that house. She saw Sweeney handling Wyth's food. She heard Wyth name his own killer before he died. She was, by every reasonable standard, the star witness in a murder trial. Except Virginia law at the time didn't allow a black person to testify against a white person in court. Didn't matter that she was free. Didn't matter that she was an eyewitness. Didn't matter that the victim himself had pointed at Sweeney with his dying breath. Without her testimony, the prosecution had almost nothing. George Wyth Sweeney was tried for murder, and he was acquitted. They also tried him separately for forging Wyth's checks, the crime they could actually prove on paper. He got off on that too. Let that sit for a second. George Wyth spent his life training the men who built America's legal system. Jefferson, Marshall. He believed, more than almost anyone in the country, in the idea that the law should deliver justice. And the same legal system he helped build had a hole in it big enough for his own murderer to walk straight through.